So it's been a long time since I've made an announcement video about a new discovery in paleontology. And I know a lot of the paleo community is talking about the recent discovery of the Carnivorans found in Argentina, but I want to shift the spotlight from this discovery to another amazing find that had its publication almost completely unnoticed. A discovery that sheds light on a completely different apex predator from a very different time in Earth's history that many people may not even know about. The Miocene is a very interesting time where many of the older lineages from the early Cenozoic were starting to die out, and many of the different groups that we would recognize today were just starting to appear. And in a big way, this is when the order Carnivora was becoming the dominant apex predators across much of the world. This is the order that contains most of the families of carnivorous mammals today, like cats, dogs, bears, hyenas, and so on. But there were even several groups that branched off of this family tree that have no living descendants today. And one of the least understood is actually probably one of the most successful groups from early on. The group known as Amphicyonids, or bear dogs, are a huge family of hypercarnivores that existed for around 30 million years, and are kind of the forgotten chapter of the success of the Carnivorans across the northern hemisphere. Despite their name, which was given to them because of them originally being thought to be something between canids and bears, and therefore thought of as a missing link, it's now understood that these guys were actually a completely separate branch of the family tree. And there were actually a lot of different species, living across North America, Europe, Asia, and Africa, ranging in size from small weasel-sized animals all the way up to the bear-sized Amphicyon ingens. Despite this family having such a wide and obviously successful run across the Miocene, there's still a lot that we don't know. Because this family has no living relatives today, every piece that we find is precious. Like when a mandible was found last month in a Miocene deposit at the edge of the Pyrenees mountains in southwest France. This 12 million year old fossil was complete enough to identify that it was indeed an Amphicyonid, but as far as we could tell, it doesn't match exactly with any known species. It actually has one more premolar than any other member of the family. The jaw measures about 25 centimeters or 10 inches, making it a considerable sized animal. Despite the scarcity of the remains, scientists were able to compare the jawbone to other Amphicyonids and figure out exactly how big this individual was. They concluded that it probably weighed around 200 kilograms or 440 pounds, making it around the same size as an adult lion. This was the first bear dog remains to be found in this region, and at this size and its unique dentition, this led scientists to conclude that this was a new species, and even a new genus. It was given the name Tartarocyon, named after the French Pyrenees legend of Tartaro, a man-eating giant. Holotype specimens are sadly very often fragmentary like we see here. But Tartarocyon is particularly interesting for a couple reasons. For one thing, unlike in North America, even though we know Amphicyonids lived in Europe, their remains are always few and far between. So every fossil, especially of a new species, is a big deal to increase our understanding. But in addition, this fossil deposit was the last place where anyone expected to find a terrestrial apex predator. Although it's not unheard of, the better majority of the fossils found here are from marine animals. A lot of shells and mollusks, but also things like dolphins. But there, right along the 12 million year old high tide line, was the jaw. Because of this, we can theorize that at least this Tartarocyon lived along the coast, probably taking advantage of the plentiful food opportunities that coastal living can provide. The Amphicyonids are a truly fascinating family of Cenozoic mammals. Like I said, they're basically like the long-lost branch of the order Carnivora. I'm sure that I'll talk more about them in the future, but every little piece of these creatures that we find helps us put the puzzle of their lives back together. I don't know if I want to dedicate myself to making videos every time that a new discovery comes out, because that could very quickly take up all of my attention that I could be dedicating to some of the other projects that I have going on. But when I saw this, because of my love for this group in particular, I thought I'd do something a little different. If this is well received, maybe I'll start doing this every once in a while when a new discovery catches my eye. But channels like Edge and Benji Thomas are already great places that do a phenomenal job of reporting on paleo news. so I think I'll leave it to them most of the time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and share this one around, because this find has not been talked about nearly enough. Have a good one, everybody.